Hey guys, it's Colton. How you doing today? Basically, it's really simple. All I have to do is answer a couple questions and we'll see how it goes. So before I start, I'm actually a subordinate bilingual, which means that I learn my second language later in life. So I usually filter my second language through my first language, which is English. So the first question, what languages do you speak? Well, I speak English, of course. My second best language is French. My third best is Spanish. My fourth best is Russian. And then I would say then Mandarin, then German. Mind you, I'm not fluent in pretty much any of these except for French. Spanish I used to be a lot better, but then once I moved to France I kind of just like lost it all, so that was fun. Second question, would you say you're fluent in both? But as I said, I'm a subordinate bilingual, so I have to filter through my first language, usually depending on what we're talking about. Next question. Did you grow up speaking both languages? Wow, I'm on a roll. I'm literally answering every single question before the question even comes up. So no, I didn't grow up speaking both languages. I learned it later in life. Which language do you prefer and why? For comfort level, obviously English. It's easier and is less effort. But there's something about speaking a different language that just feels like a little exotic, you know what I mean? You're almost like a different person. Which language do you speak in mostly? English, because I live in Canada. Primarily an English part, but occasionally I speak French here because there is a small French community where I live. When do you most often use your second language? Either when I'm speaking to my French friends, when I'm like reading the French news or listening to the French radio, or I like want to watch a French movie. Sometimes my partner and I would do a French day. So literally the entire day we just dedicate to just like texting, speaking, everything is just in French. Do you prefer watching movies dubbed in your first or second language? If it has to be dubbed, I think I prefer watching it in French because I'm used to the French dub more than I'm used to watching something dubbed in English, if that makes any sense. Literally translate your favorite expression or phrase from your second language into your first. God. Okay, so in French I like the expression poser un lapin. And so basically in English that means, literally in English it means to put a rabbit. And what it actually means is to stand someone up. For example, you could use it like "Il m'a posé un lapin lors de notre premier rendez-vous." Like he stood me up on our first date. I also like avoir un poil dans la main. It literally means to have a hair in the hand. Basically what that means is to be extremely lazy. So if you said like, "Oh, j'ai un poil dans la main," quoi. Like I'm so lazy. I'm so lazy I let a hair grow in my hand. That literally makes no sense. Do you code switch? Meaning to switch from one language into another language mid-sentence or after a sentence. If I'm with my French-English friends, the ones that can speak both languages, from Canada, usually we'll speak franglais, which is French-English. But for the most part, if I'm speaking with like my French friends from France, I just speak French. If I'm speaking with my friends from Canada, I'll like just speak English. If I've been in France for a long time and like the language is just in my head and I'm trying to speak English, then usually I can't remember a word and then you're just like, you know what I mean? Like the tarif. Next question, did being bilingual in school make it harder or easier? Well, since I wasn't bilingual in high school, it obviously made it harder, but now that I'm in university, I don't know, like when I was in France, it made it easier. What advice would you give someone who wants to be bilingual? Do it. Do it. It is extremely beneficial to know more than one language. English is not the only language in the world, and if you want to travel anywhere, it helps to learn that language. So don't just assume that somebody's gonna speak English, because you're gonna get in a position where they speak really crappy English and you speak really crappy, whatever, let's say Vietnamese, and you can't get yourself food. Learn another language. How does being bilingual benefit you nowadays? Usually when I work, because I work at a hotel, I'll get French people coming in from Quebec or just kind of like around the area. In that case, if they can't speak English well, then I'll just switch to French. But for the most part, it just benefits me that I can like eavesdrop on people's conversations. So do you have more friends that speak your first or your second language? And my answer is going to be my first language, because that's where I do most of my friendship making. Last question, what language do you plan on learning next? I would like to perfect my Spanish next, but completely new, where I haven't learned any, like where I haven't dabbled in any of it, I would say I would really like to learn Hindi or Arabic. Namaste. Fluent, multilingual, what's good, what's good. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. If you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!